Welcome to the Recruiter Startup Podcast. I'm joined today by Jonathan Kidder. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, doing very well. Glad to be here.
Um, where uh, where are you? Is that a vacation rental you're in?
It is. I've been at Airbnb in Colorado Springs, and just the weather outside, it's beautiful. And again, I'm just happy to be here.
Are, are you pretending to be working all day and off skiing? Is that what's happening here?
No, it's nice to get away and definitely during a pandemic years to I'm able to kind of work remotely and definitely putting in the hours and as a recruiter, as you know, it's you're working 10 plus hours a day, but outside of work
I heard you
hours,
guys, you courser guys have it all automated.
yeah.
I'm not too sure. Um, right. So lots to get through. You're normally from Minnesota, right?
I'm from Minnesota, originally born and raised, and Midwest too. So for me, I've been recruiting for about 10 years, and I've worked at many local firms, agencies, as well as TA in internal teams. So Target, Best Buy are kind of the core ones that I've worked on in the past too. So I know the game.
You know the game. How come you've never escaped Minnesota? What's the
you know,
story?
I love the whole seasons. We get every single season too. We get spring, fall, winter, summer months. It's great. People are nice. But my family does live there too, so I'm kind of stuck.
So,
So
Jonathan, I've been following you for a while, because you know all the stuff I don't, and I don't really have the attention span to go into all the detail on it. But so that's why I thought I'd get you on, get the good stuff out of you. Uh,
good.
what's a sourcer? First of all, you self-identify as well.
It's such a good question too. And when we first started sourcing, I would say the term popped up, I don't know, 2000s ish. And at first it was more about lead generation. It was more about finding contact information online, finding leads, and then directing those leads to recruiters who would then reach out and kind of push candidates through the whole process. But the term sorcerer has changed over the years. So it's more about engagement. It's more about prospecting, lead generation, and then also doing kind of screens. So reaching out to people on LinkedIn or over email or using a tool, and then getting them excited about the opportunity, and then getting them on kind of a quick phone screen call for 30, 40 minutes, screening them, talking about the opportunity, selling them on the team or role, and then pushing them through the process too as well. So
Okay.
um, it's kind of at the top of the funnel now.
Yeah, because like agency founders, especially from the UK, they'll be listening to this and they'll be going, "Is he a resourcer then? Has
Yeah.
he just been doing that for 10 years? Well, where did it all go wrong for this guy?"
Yeah, and exact resources, very similar sort of term to sorcerer. It's the same title per se, and less about lead generation, more about engagement, communication, getting people, selling them opportunities, and getting them in the pipeline too. And then within kind of major fields, so tech, finance. There's more jobs than there are people now too. So you really need to be able to prospect, reach out to them, get them excited, and get them in the process.
All right, let me try and get the good stuff from you.
All right, here we go.
It's hard, right? So it's day one. I've opened my agency. I'm thinking I'm going to do technology. Um, what am I going to do? How am I going to be picking a niche? What am I going to which area am I going to go for? How do I decide that from a data perspective, from the information? Maybe I don't have a lot of contacts or experience on it.
I would say day one, it's all about the data. So talent mapping is the term that we use in North America, and it's figuring out, okay, what location do I want to target? What type of industry do I want to target? If I do have clients or I'm talking to other recruiters, what's their problems? What are they facing? Like, man, we can't find any .NET developers in this location, or we can't
Let's
find.
say I'm kind of coming to the decision it's IT sales. It might focus on cyber within that. And I'm going to look at Chicago, Boston, and New York.
Exactly. So figuring out in that location for sales, if that's kind of your niche, who are the players in that area? First off, what companies are hiring? Make a huge list
How do I
of
find out
all.
that?
all the openings. Do a search on Google first off. Google Jobs is kind of a core one now that's really taken off for applicants, because it syncs all the different career sites and it puts it on Google now too. So there's a way to
If I was
um,
saying recruiting animal, I would shout at you, this is how you do it. You use Sourcebreaker, and you need to say
yeah.
the Recruiter Startup podcast if you want the discount for 10%.
Source breaker. Use that.
Sourcebreaker, right? That's what it is. Mention
Use
my
that
name.
data. Yes. Mention the name, hashtag.
Sorry. I promise I won't do that again. I won't do that again. Sourcebreaker, mention my name. Uh,
Sourcebreaker.com.
all right. So we're working out. We're using Sourcebreaker, or maybe you're using a free tool. I do Sourcebreaker. Um, that's telling you where all the vacancies are.
Right.
What do we do then? Surely we're not
So,
all these people. What?
figure out your competition. Understand your competition. There's many other websites. Owler is a great one that I've used. Google Alerts is another one where you can track any sort of updates on any sort of website page, or on any sort of PR related news site or social media site. Track your competition. Understand what they're doing, what makes them unique, and just figuring out in your core area. If you're targeting Chicago, here's my top competition, here's the roles, and using that to your advantage too as well. So then once you figure out that, then it's more about figuring out who at the company can I reach out to. So if it's hiring managers, or if it's direct recruiters, even on a LinkedIn job post, you can figure out the recruiter assigned to that role too. So you could do a direct message to them, or look at that information, just how you
What
source.
type of data are you getting at this stage?
At this stage, it's more about industry data. So figuring out just the basics. So the size of the company, where they're located, what industry or niche are they connected to, and just using like a Excel doc, track all that information, make sense of that, and then expand on that too. So in that document, figuring out who's kind of the players, figuring out, okay, here's all the hiring managers, here's all the recruiters, and then using SourceBreaker or other sort of tools to find their contact information online. Figuring out, okay, from this list, I got their email, I've got their cell phone number, I've got all their information
Do
too.
people like you offer that as a service, for useless people like me who can't look into things individually and do all the administration that's necessary, and to do it in a systematic way? Like I sure that would take up my whole day. Um, what what does that look like? How do
There's so many different tools to automate that too. So many automation tools, but it is tough to kind of figure out how many hours should I dedicate to this. And if you have a resource around your team, or if you have a source or whatever, having them like, hey, can you do some B2B prospecting, or during this time, can you find me a list of all the companies in this location that are hiring for this type of industry? Have someone do that maybe at the lower level, if you want to do that, in a
what
sense.
tools do you recommend?
Tools, there's many ones. Of course, I'm going to be specific to North America. Owler, Google Alerts, Zoom Info. There's others out there too as well that get a little bit more niche.
We started
But
using Seamless AI.
what was that?
Seamless AI.
I don't know what that means.
Seamless AI. It's
Seamless AI. Yes, yes,
AI
Seamless
that works.
AI. Exactly. I just did a demo of that tool with that team, and they help with that too. They can give you contact information. They also automate the whole email outreach sections of
Oh,
that
good.
too. So it's kind of nice. It gives you their contact information. It gives you their lists. You can create different projects, and then you could do kind of drip campaigns too. So let's say you've got someone resourcer has all this data, and now it's more about sending targeted messages, figuring out, okay, like, hey, maybe we're new to the area, I've got 10 years of recruiting in this field, and I've got a big network of people that are active and open to interviewing right now.
Here's my
Um,
candidate. Take it, take it, take it.
please interview me.
Yeah.
Interview this candidate too.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm an internal recruiter sourcer, but the best messages that I've seen are ones that they take the time to write a quality message. They take the time, like, oh, notice you posted this, and we've got a really good network of people.
Say,
Instead of
hey,
just doing,
Jonathan, I've seen that
yeah.
you've just published your second book. It's amazing. Can I work your job, please?
can I can I do your job? But being kind of a connection to people, being kind of like, hey, I'm here to support you. You know, I'm not here to like take your job. I'm here to just alleviate some stress, or maybe, hey, looks like you've got a ton of openings right now. You got 200 openings. Um, how can we help you? How can we support you? If you go in it that way, I think that's a good approach too as well.
How many calls do you get from agencies looking
You
to?
know, it's more or less it's been on LinkedIn Recruiter, or just LinkedIn in general, or over email too. A lot of people just do reach outs that way. They reach out to me, hey, here's what I have, here's my network, good to connect with you. And yeah, it's
Because Amazon
I,
is hiring.
yeah, they're hiring all the time too. And I've talked to lots of agency recruiter friends, and right now they're experiencing they've got a ton of clients, but it's hard to find candidates right now. So
Already in
um,
the US,
yeah.
really.
Yep. So they're a lot more candidates are more passive within North America. Maybe it's a little different to overseas, but right now there's a ton of candidates. There's a huge need. Like, hey, we've got all these openings, but can you help us find qualified candidates? So, and then really it comes down to your sourcing abilities. Using all these different types of tools. How can you automate this? How can you reach out to your network? How can you build connections with whatever niche? If it's sales or tech or finance. It's using all these different tools to produce some good leads.
Okay. And then it's about the engagement of those leads.
Exactly, too. And really, I would say it comes down to engagement. So, reaching out to people, my philosophy is to reach out to someone within a 2-week period, 2 to 3 times. So that's people do more than that. I like to do less. I like to less, just, hey, I don't want to be less annoying, maybe. I don't want to annoy them, but I'm like, here I am. Here's the types of roles that I do have. Let's connect. And then I like to highlight whatever they're online. So if they're on GitHub, Stack Overflow, or any sort of blog or website, like, hey, I notice this is your niche. Here's your hobbies. This is what I liked about your profile. And then here's the project that I have at my company, and sell them on that. Like, hey, we're growing this new project in this area. It's innovative. It's a new project that's starting from scratch, and just selling them on that. So, and really talk to your hiring manager.
Like
Yeah.
you're more than a sourcer. You've clearly got a bit of a personality, and I could see that you could influence. You're quite entrepreneurial in your own way. Um, Surely you must be worried about this sourcing world disappearing into artificial intelligence.
Great question. And even that first chapter in my book, Top Talent Sourcing Tools, available on Amazon.com, I cover that.
Use the coupon code recruiter startup. We haven't agreed that yet, actually, but we will before the end of this.
I cover that topic because I feel like AI automation will eliminate the need for mundane searching. So the tasks at hand where
Searching and
maybe you're.
engaging, I'm sure.
Yep. So focusing more on engagement, more at the middle of the funnel. The beginning of the funnel might be automated within a decade or so, 10 years span, I would say, where we've got so many tools, so many automation tools where they rank the profiles, they give you all the information. Are we there yet where it's going to be fully automated in our lifetime? I would say no.
In our
But
life,
I
in
would.
our lifetime, are you crazy?
I I would say.
You're off your head. You're gonna have to get your tent like they're just get on the street, lad. This is all getting automated within 10 years. The
Well, here's an
brand and the
example.
personality and whoever owns the funnel will be okay.
Yeah.
But the funnel itself, like that'll be seamless.
Yeah,
Sure.
here's an example that I give to people too. So let's say you're calling customer service, and you get on the line, and it's all automated. What are you looking for? That's going to become more seamless. But at the end of the day, I'm
Like,
clicking 000. Get me to someone I can talk to over the phone. So I think uh, there's going to be a yearning for direct communication, personal touch points, where people are going to like yearn for that connection, and I
I
don't know.
agree with that. So I think
Yeah.
the personality will, like, Clubhouse is taken off. I don't know if you've been in there and checked it out,
Yep.
but
Yep. That's
yesterday,
been really popular
yeah,
recently too.
yeah, yesterday I logged in, and then like these rec tech guys I knew just said, "Oh, you should join this room, come in and chat." And then I went in and I listened to the guy who was speaking. I was like, "I'm not speaking. This guy knows way more than me." And he's coming on the podcast hopefully this week. But he founded a voice sourcing tool
Yeah.
called Recce, and he was pretty optimistic that we'd still be around in some shape or form. I thought he was playing to the audience a little bit. I think it was more out of like, we will choose not to automate everything, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
stuff that can happen even in voice to pretend that it's somebody at this stage is pretty scary.
It's
Um,
scary.
but I think, look, when you look at Clubhouse now, like, people are yearning for that contact that we're not getting in our daily
Right.
basis. So we do steer into that. So, and we do, like, I think trust will be there. But hey, those low level jobs at Amazon, buddy, you need to get into that technical area, because that's all being automated.
It's all automated now too, so
Really.
you don't even have to have a resume now. You can apply, you could go through the process step by step by step at those shipping level types of roles too. So low hanging fruit, I would say, the basic type of roles, they're being automated now,
Yeah.
presently, where you don't even have a connection, you don't talk to someone. But I would say any role that is niche, or is more kind of trending, you're going to need kind of someone who can do high level touch points too. So maybe the beginning of the process they apply, or they're found, that's going to be automated. But then really just being their advocate through the process, like, here I am, here's the project, doing touch points. Yeah, I could see that kind of evolving more, where making it more customer centric. Candidate experience is always going to be very vital to there's going to be a need to reach out to people and engage them through the process, and it's going to make you more unique too. So and people just go to that too. And for me, we're in a pandemic, and I'm on Zoom calls all the time, but a part of me deep down, like, I miss going into an office. I miss seeing people's faces. I miss that connection. So even that's going to change a lot. But I think at the end of the day, people still yearn for direct communication, and it's interesting too. So and I've talked to people too recently, where a lot of people just text. Millennials, Gen X just text people now. But one of my friends was like, you know what, I got on the phone, I called someone last week because I haven't talked to them, I haven't heard their voice in like 6 months, and I miss that too. So um, yeah, so there's always going to be kind of that connection point too as well.
And so you're not a millennial, are you?
I'm 32. My
Oh,
birthday's
you're a
next week.
millennial.
Oh no.
You're right in the middle of it.
Oh, I'm in hell. Help me.
I'm on the other side of it. I'm not really Gen X, but
Yeah.
so I think they kind of describe it. I had the internet growing up, but I also experienced life without it. You've, like, can you even remember when the internet wasn't around?
No, I remember even preschool, kindergarten, we had dial
You're a
up
millennial.
too. Yeah. So we had some form of it too. So, but things have changed. It's just
Look,
evolving. It's going quicker, but
let's talk
I'm,
automation on LinkedIn. All right.
yep.
I know
So,
you're
I I know you love LinkedIn Helper. It is a
that's,
scary tool.
for all those people who get messages off me, no, that really is me.
It's all
uh,
automated.
for LinkedIn, I'm not using it. It's me. But hypothetically, if somebody was to use that somebody was to build out a load of profiles, which I haven't, um, surely that funnel could be scaled using LinkedIn Helper in order
Yeah,
to get the person into a call with the person. Because
right,
problem is, even if you have good content, great content, the bastard still won't answer your message. So it's really, 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 really hard right now to get the right person on the phone into a committed call. So
right.
we're kind of on this race to a bottom with our own outreach, bot outreaches, email outreaches. It's almost like I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, and there's so many out there too. You've got LinkedIn Helper, you've got My Robot Works, you've got Danae, and a couple other ones that are out there too. But those are the kind of the core
Right.
for automation.
There's Meat Alfred, there's Duck Soup,
Duck Soup, yep. Phantom
uh,
Buster,
Phantom
Block
Buster.
Spring.
Right. So I've we've tested them all. LinkedIn Helper's the best bang for buck. Um, My Robot Works looks good, but I kind of feel you need a few too many technical skills to be able to.
Yeah, it's a little
We
bit more advanced.
we idiot tested it with some of our team. I'll not name him. But LinkedIn Helper, he got that no problem. So we decided to go with that. Um, always go with the lowest common denominator. Um,
Yeah, I would say
but
just be aware. Be aware. I mean, if you send more than 50 messages a day, or you can space them out too. So for if you can space it out, so if it's not like every second you're sending, you're gonna get banned pretty
I'm not
quickly.
using
So
it, LinkedIn. I'm not using it. And so Phantom
okay,
Booster, interesting product.
yeah,
I'm,
I love it. There's
I'm
so
gonna,
many things you can do with it too.
I want your help with this, and we'll take this offline. Um, but I'm trying to build a Facebook group, and tell me how hypothetically somebody could use Phantom Buster to build a Facebook group.
Fandom you could scrape different profiles too, so you could figure out in your niche if you're focusing on industry professionals or just recruiting in general. You could scrape um, from other groups, get their information, get their emails, and then you could add them to your group too as well if you wanted to do it that way. And I've got my own group, talentsourcers.com, or Talent Sourcers, sorry, on on Facebook, and I've got about 3,000 users, but man, it's slow going. It's taken me years to build that up, and I'm posting every other day too. It's a lot of investment on my end. So, but good interaction. People are responding to stuff, but in general, Facebook groups, it takes a while to kind of build that up.
Yeah, I've no interest in going slow with this. I'm growth hacking this.
Speed to the top. I love it.
Big time, big time. We'll be at 10,000 this time next year. No, how do I growth hack it though? Because it looks to me like there's 5 primary Facebook groups for recruiters out there. Uh, no, I don't want all the non-commercial people. I don't really want all the TA people. No offense. You can have all them. Uh, I'll say they have to go to talent sources. Is that right? Um,
That's right.
Anybody else who's interested in growing an agency, they're the ones we want.
Yep.
Um, Surely Phantom Buster goes into the other groups, has we look at them. Does it engage in a messaging sequence to ask them to join your group? Does it scrape an email and then you target them? Or because
You could do it that way. You could scrape their emails and then, send them a drip campaign. Say, hey, I'm new to this area, or I just started this group, and it looks like you're in the agency side, want to connect with you directly, and you could automate all that too if you wanted to.
okay,
So,
what else could I do? Hypothetically.
you know, I would say, my biggest thing was I posted on Recruiters Online, that group, and I said, hey, I've got a new group. It's focused just purely on talent sourcing, resourcing, and if you want to connect, that was kind of the biggest
Were
thing,
they
the biggest
were they
boom
were
for
they
my
okay
buck.
with everything?
I reached out to Michael, and he said fine. One sentence, fine. But going to a bigger group and just talking through a niche, like, hey, if I'm new, I'm an agency based recruiter, and I'm looking to get more people in this area, and
Yeah, you'd soon
that
get
helps.
you'd soon get kicked out of them anyway. Uh, yeah, one of the things that Recruiter Online's doing, which I think is really interesting, is And for example, for this podcast, I'm not doing it right now, but once I get my act together, I'll have this on Crowdcast, and then I'll cast this into Recruiters Online, and we'll do it live. And I'll do it into all the other groups that say okay. And as you build your group, you give them permission to do the media into yours as well. So
Nice.
that's a way to really growth hack your audience. And Michael's opened up Recruiter Online for that, which I thought was quite forward thinking of him.
Yeah, very innovative too. And people do love that live streaming or any sort of thing where they can kind of view it, maybe whether at work or
So
just listen to
we've established
podcasts.
you're going to be out of work within 5 years, from a combination of AI and some automation. What what will your job look like 5 years time? Tell me, you're at the top of the funnel for an internal recruitment team, or you having to work for a big giant company, or what do you think?
I would say it's going to be more middle ground in the funnel process. So more about, if people do apply, or if you've got tools that assess people's basic skills, kind of then you're going to be at the first round where you're screening more in depthly. So more niche, more kind of, okay, refined. Here's what we're looking for in relation to soft skills. Here's the role. Here's the project. Talking through your process, more about candidate engagement. And at that level too, tech candidates really love hand holding. They love like feeling special. They love, look at me, I'm special. Yeah,
Yeah,
in that sense. So they really do value that kind of experience. So really just high touch points, better experience, talking through your process, answering all their questions. Because it is a big deal when you think about it to if you have a job or if you're looking for a job, there is a sense of like stress within that job searching field.
yeah.
And the more you can kind of alleviate that, the more you can kind of calm them down and talk about your experience or the process. I think that's just going to make you a better employer, and it's going to be
Like,
positive.
from somebody who's not very administratively strong, to say the least, um, why is recruitment tech so disjointed?
That's a
Like,
good question too. And you talk to a lot of people and they're like, it's so, so there's so many issues. The
there's no
process is so
integration
wrong.
between, like, you need seven different pieces of kit that none of them speak to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say and there's companies that do it right, and there's a lot of companies that do it wrong too. So it's figuring out kind of the process and figuring out where are we losing candidates, where are we losing people in the process, and what's taking so long, timing and everything, and figuring out all that internal data and the figuring that out is going to be vital too. So improving your process, improving the candidate experience, those are all good things too. So yeah, I think it's some companies don't do it well, and it's broken in some companies, and so definitely there's a need for someone like us to come in and improve that process. Bless you.
Tell me a little bit about this book, this latest book that you've written before. I
So it's on Amazon, paperback as well as book copies, and it's called Top Talent Sourcing Tools. And it took me 2 years to write the book. So I cover every different area. So from contact finding extensions, productivity extensions, scheduling apps, automation, AI, searching, the list goes on, email, automation, every single area. And really, I really wanted to highlight not only the new kind of shiny tools, but the ones that are tried and true. So the ones that I've used for a couple of years that I don't see going away in a year to 2 years, because once you write a book about talent sourcing tools, things are always changing and
Yeah.
evolving. So I wanted to focus on, the top ones in each category, the ones that have good reviews that,
How many
are,
categories are there?
a lot. I've got at least 10 chapters. And there's so much.
Oh,
And
there's loads of
yeah,
like ballpark. Just
so first chat, I mean, so one's contact finding tools, one's email automation tools, email verification tools, web scraping extraction tools, automation tools, Boolean generators, ATS tools, email automation tools, email tracking tools, people search engines, data analytics tools, writing tools, calendar scheduling, tracking tools, everything you need. I really like, I'm like, here's everything I got. And yeah, I threw it at you like a big, ball of love, and take it all and absorb it all. And
Why doesn't all of that sit in the one ATS?
that's a good question. And that's a good question, because I would say for ATS systems, each
See,
company's
CRM,
different.
like
CRM, everything's going to be different. So, there's many different tools and companies that add on additional stuff. I'm a fan of Salesforce because you can edit and change whatever you need to make it fit within your process. But there's many other ones that allow you to change and edit
we're only
stuff.
allowed to talk about
Luxo.
Dairy on this podcast. That's our sponsor.
Okay, check them out. Check them out.
Recruiter Startup, quote them if you're going to purchase it. So really interested. Like I see that world as very broken when I look at it. Like who can work 10 chapters of different tools? Like surely there has to be something like that's on the way that's going to amalgamate all of that. You'll press a button and it'll just go. Uh,
One can dream. Someday, someday I think someone will put their minds together and build something that's just, the one tool. But in my experience, I've been doing this for 10 years. I haven't found a tool that can do every single thing too. And it's more about using a combination of tools just to make your life easier too. So if it's scheduling or scraping or automating your emails, or, automating your social media, which I've done, it just makes your life a lot easier too, because all
you
those
should
things
sit
kind of
down,
take up your day.
sit down with a venture backer and a bunch of developers and a whiteboard and just
Yeah.
design it. Because surely the capability is there if you have the knowledge of what's needed.
Yeah. I mean, that would be like building Skynet. That would just destroy the world. Should it be done or should it not be done? That's
Yeah.
Terminator. I don't know
Well,
if you've seen that movie.
yeah, well, of course they did. I told you the job of the source is going. Like it's either going to be you who's going to kill everybody, or somebody else is going to do it. I think you should be the one.
Kill or be killed. That's
Yeah.
the
You're
term.
the Kyle. What was his name? Kyle.
Whatever. Yeah.
All right,
I
Jonathan.
yeah.
That's us today. Thanks for putting up with me and me not knowing anything about the stuff that you do. Um,
I
I want
forgive
to
you.
pick your brain on a few other things, another stage. And just shout out that book is Talent Sourcer.
It's top talent sourcing tools for recruiters. So it's a big title, but if you type in talent sourcing tools, it's going to pop up on Amazon, and it's
And
worth every penny.
if they join your Facebook group, you'll annoy them to buy it anyway. Which
That's
is
right.
Facebook group is Talent Sourcer.
Talent sourcers. Yep.
Good on you. Thanks for this. Talk soon.
All right, buddy.